Before you even think about clicking away, let me ask you something. What if the biggest financial mistake you're about to make is the one everyone around you is telling you is normal? What if chasing that $500,000 house is actually keeping you broke? And what if I told you there's a smarter, faster, and far less stressful way to build real wealth without sacrificing your life to mortgage payments? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see home ownership completely differently, and you might just save yourself years of financial pressure. And hey, if you're serious about making smarter money moves, hit that like button and subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about money, we show you how to actually keep it. Let's be real for a second. Somewhere along the line, society sold us a dream. Buy a big house, the bigger the better. Stretch your budget. It's worth it. But here's what they don't tell you. That $500,000 house, it's not just $500,000. It's interest, it's property tax, it's maintenance, it's insurance, it's repairs you didn't plan for. That dream house quickly becomes a $900,000 to $1 million commitment over time. And suddenly, your dream life starts to feel like a financial trap. You wake up every morning not excited, but obligated. Obligated to your mortgage, obligated to your bills, obligated to a lifestyle you can't easily escape. And the worst part, most people don't even realize it's happening. Let me paint a picture for you. You buy a $500,000 house. You put down maybe 10% or 20%. If you're lucky, you take out a 30-year mortgage. At current interest rates, you're looking at monthly payments that could easily hit $3,000 to $4,000 depending on your situation. Now add utilities, maintenance, unexpected repairs. Your house is now costing you maybe $4,500 a month. That's $54,000 a year after tax. Let that sink in. Now here's the real question. What could you have done with that same money instead? What if instead of locking yourself into a massive mortgage, you used that money to build assets? Because here's the truth, wealthy people understand. Your home is not always an asset. Sometimes it's just an expensive liability wearing a nice outfit. So what should you do instead? Let's break it down. First, stop chasing the biggest house you can afford. Start asking a better question. What is the smartest housing decision for my financial future? Because affordability doesn't mean sustainability. Banks will approve you for way more than you should realistically take on. Why? Because they profit from your interest, not your financial freedom. Second, consider buying below your means. Not at your limit, not close to your limit, way below it. Imagine this. Instead of a $500,000 house, you buy a $250,000 to $300,000 property. Immediately, your monthly payments drop significantly. Now you have breathing room. And breathing room is power, because now you can invest. Now you can save. Now you can take opportunities. Instead of being stuck, you're flexible. Third, and this is where things get interesting. Think like an investor, not just a homeowner. What if your first property wasn't your dream home, but your first income-generating asset? A duplex, a small rental property, even a modest home where you rent out part of it. Now instead of your house draining your money, it's putting money back into your pocket. This is how people quietly build wealth, not by impressing others, but by making strategic moves no one talks about. Let me give you a simple example. Two people, same income, same starting point. Person A buys a $500,000 house. Person B buys a $300,000 property and invests the difference. After 10 to 15 years, Person A has a nice house, but limited savings and high expenses. Person B, they might have multiple properties, investments growing in the background, more freedom, more options, same income, completely different outcomes. Now, here's something most people ignore. Your life is not supposed to revolve around your house. Your house is supposed to support your life, but when your mortgage eats up most of your income, you start making decisions based on survival, not growth. You pass on opportunities. You avoid risks. You stay stuck in jobs you don't even like, all because of one decision: trying to afford too much house. Let's talk about something even deeper: lifestyle inflation. Because this is where things quietly spiral out of control. You earn more, so you upgrade your house, then your furniture, then your car, then your entire lifestyle. And before you know it, your expenses rise just as fast as your income. You're making more money, but you're not building wealth. You're just maintaining a more expensive version of the same life. Now imagine flipping that mindset. Instead of upgrading your lifestyle immediately, you upgrade your investments first. You let your money grow, you let your assets work, and then, later, you upgrade your lifestyle from a position of strength. That's how real financial freedom is built. Here's another angle most people don't consider: time. When you commit to a massive mortgage, you're not just committing money, you're committing decades of your life. 30 years. That's a long time to be tied to one decision. What if your goals change? What if you want to move? What if you want to start a business? A heavy mortgage limits your flexibility. And flexibility is one of the most valuable financial advantages you can have. Now, I'm not saying don't ever buy a nice house. That's not the point. The point is timing. Most people try to live their endgame life at the beginning, instead of building toward it strategically. Think of it like this: your first home doesn't need to impress anyone. It needs to position you for growth, position you for opportunity, position you for wealth. Let's make this practical. If you're currently thinking about buying a house, here are smarter moves to consider. Buy something you can comfortably afford, even if your income drops. Keep your total housing cost well below 30% of your income if possible. Look for properties with income potential. Prioritize location and long-term value, not just aesthetics. And most importantly, don't let social pressure rush your decision, because nobody else is going to pay your mortgage. Here's a reality check most people need to hear. Nobody cares about your house as much as you think they do. People might be impressed for a moment, but they move on. Meanwhile, you're left managing the financial consequences for years. So make decisions based on your future, not someone else's opinion. Now let's talk about the emotional side, because this isn't just about numbers. It's about peace of mind. Financial stress is one of the biggest sources of anxiety today, and a large part of that stress comes from overcommitting. Imagine waking up knowing your expenses are low, knowing you have savings, knowing you have options. That feeling, that's worth more than any luxury house. And here's the part most people don't realize until it's too late. Wealth isn't built by what you show. It's built by what you keep. A smaller house with growing investments will always outperform a big house with no financial flexibility. So the next time you feel pressure to level up your house, pause. Ask yourself, is this move building my future or just feeding my ego? Because those two things often look the same, but lead to completely different lives. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently than most people, and that's powerful. Drop a comment below. Would you rather have a big house or financial freedom? And be honest with yourself. And if this video changed how you think about money, even a little, make sure you subscribe, because the truth is, most financial advice out there is designed to keep you spending. But here, we focus on building wealth, building freedom, building a life you actually control. So stop trying to afford a $500,000 house and start building a $500,000 life, one smart decision at a time.